Okay, before we get into this week's episode, Ash, I have a recommendation for you, and it's been saving me the past few weeks.
I already know this is going to be about you being sick again.
It's seriously not funny. I've been sick since March. There's just so much going around at the moment.
It's brutal, especially when you have a toddler in childcare.
Exactly. That's the thing. I needed to know exactly what I had. There was no point guessing. And as an anxious parent, I also wanted to know if my toddler was going to end up with what I had.
And Google diagnosing never helps.
Not at all. It always tells you the worst case scenario. So that is why I grabbed a Touch Bio 5-in-1 testing kit from the supermarket. They test for COVID, influenza A and B, RSV and ADV.
That's actually so handy.
It was so handy. I actually found out I had influenza A, and then get this, 2 weeks later I had COVID, which meant I could stop guessing and keep track to see if my toddler was going to end up in the same boat as me.
That peace of mind is everything, especially when we have kids.
And the best part is they're so available. You can get them at Coles or the chemist, so you can literally just add it to your grocery shop.
All right, I'm going to go get some this week.
You'll thank me when you have your toddler waking up at 6 a.m. with a runny nose.
Okay, how can I make today great, and how can I be a better person and a better version of myself?
I don't like to say I'm lucky because I hate using that word lucky. I think that if you believe in yourself and then it's repetition, right? I spend a lot of time thinking about this football club that I don't get paid a cent. I'm so ADHD. I'm undiagnosed, but I'm 100% ADHD.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank
you have been a
you.
guest who've been wanting to get on for a very long
that's
time.
you.
You are the pinnacle of someone who has this busy life. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here. I was chuffed when Ash reached out yesterday and was like, do you want to be on the podcast? I was like, no brainer, of course. Absolutely.
When I put a story box up for my followers to say who they wanted on the podcast, you were mentioned 3 times.
Yeah,
Was
you were
I?
mentioned 4 times on mine as well.
So
Amazing. Love that.
Which is great. So great.
Excellent.
We start every episode off with asking our guests a little icebreaker, and that's, what was your busy lesson and win for the week?
Busy lesson and win for the week. Wow, it's already been a big week and it's only Thursday. I think that my busy lesson for the week is really pick and choose where you put your effort and use your energy. We're all so busy, I suppose, and there's a million things going on. And I think that for me personally, sometimes I use my energy in places that I'm like, if I sit back and reflect, was it worth putting so much energy into that? And most of the time it's no. Like, what's the worst? I always ask myself, what's the worst thing that can happen if I don't do this, or if I don't put as much energy into this? And I think that's a really big lesson I've learned this week, especially with the chaos of my life at the moment. And a win is, I think, with the football club, there comes a lot of different personalities and a lot of different people, and reflecting on that, the win that I took from that was just really stepping back and making sure that I wasn't putting as much as not my passion, but my taking things personally and trying to reflect as a leader and have discussions as a leader, and taking out that real personal, and that, as a female, we're also hormonal, we're also emotional.
Yeah.
And I'm a really emotional leader, and I really had to take that out this week and sort of go, right, how does this affect the football club? How does this affect me? How does this affect everybody else? And so does that answer your question?
Absolutely. I find for myself, I resonate with both areas. This year particularly, I just keep burning out last year. And this year I really had to go, what do I need to say no to?
Yeah.
Because otherwise I just keep burning out and it's just getting ridiculous. Because I've been such a yes person for so long, everyone expects me to say yes to things.
Yes.
100%.
And so it's been really hard because people will come to you expecting you to say yes.
It's recreating those boundaries.
And putting those boundaries back up is really hard. And I don't want to have heaps of boundaries, and I don't want people to not ask me to do things because then I miss out on opportunities.
Yeah, I agree.
But then it's also, how do you draw the line of, no, I can't do everything, but I want to be asked to do everything. So it's really hard to also word it, because you don't want to do yourself a disservice and miss out on an opportunity because people think you're too busy or whatever it might be. And then also on the side of leadership, this is something I've also struggled with because I got into business not to be a leader. I got into business to be a mortgage broker. And then all of a sudden we have this big team, and I am also quite an emotional leader as well. And it's not always the best place to be in when you do have that
agree.
emotion, because although it can work well with the empathy and sympathy 100%. And things like that, it can also tend to get people to walk all over you as well. And that can be such a detrimental part of business.
Yeah, I agree so much with everything you just said. Is that me?
For those who don't know you, and I'm sure there's not that many people that don't know you, do you want to introduce yourself and what you do day to day?
So I'm Nat. I am first and foremost a mum. I'm a single mum. I'm also I play in the corporate world. So I work for a pharmaceutical company. Recently had major changes to my role and still going through those changes. So I work in pharmaceuticals. I'm now a national account manager, and I'm also the president of the Clarence Football Club, which I love. And it comes with its challenges, but yeah, I love it. So that's me in a nutshell.
I love it. I love you so much.
I knew we were going to have so much fun.
Yeah, we are going to have so much fun today. And there's like so many great questions that I want to ask. And to start off with, I'd really love to dive into your story as to why pharmaceuticals.
Okay, yep.
I feel like ever since I've known you, you've probably played in that field, and you're often traveling, like you're always on the go. And, you know, everything that I see on Instagram as well, like you're always out there, and you're like probably the best person out there to have conversations with people and
thanks.
and run events and, you know, partake in events and all that kind of stuff. So why pharmaceuticals and like what are the challenges that have come with that role given how demanding it can be too?
And corporate as well.
Yeah, corporate. Oh, corporate's crazy. I actually love telling this story because I think it is so important for so many people to hear how I actually got into pharma or pharmaceuticals, because a lot of people always comment, oh, you're so lucky, you've got a great job and, you know, you get to do so many great things. And I do. Like, I honestly have the best job and I love what I do. But honestly, it was, I didn't go to university. I left school in year 11.
Yeah, great.
I literally like sort of, you know, worked my way through what I needed to do. And when I was, now about 16 or 17 years ago, I was on a plane. I worked in hospitality, then moved into recruitment, which I hated. Anyway, I was on my way to Melbourne with this recruitment company and I sat next to a lady on a plane. And this lady turned out to be the person that got me into pharma. So my biggest life lesson is always talk to
the person you're sitting next to
on a plane,
yes,
because you just never know. And I have honestly since then met so many great people, made so many networks, connections with people on planes. But basically, long story short, we kept in contact. I moved into the health and fitness industry, was working there. She contacted me one day. I knew she worked in the pharmaceutical world, and she just said, "Hey, Nat, do you want a new job?" And I wasn't loving where I was at the time. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, I know Swiss Vitamins are hiring the very first territory manager in Tasmania, and I think you should go for it. So she literally hooked me up with a phone call. I flew to Melbourne like the next week, interviewed, and I got the job. And the rest is pretty much history.
That's amazing.
So I just worked my way through Swiss. I was there for nearly 10 years, loved that job, lived and breathed it. And then was made redundant nearly 10 years later. So they got rid of all the reps, which is very, very common in Tassie, which is why pharma is also a really hard industry to work in Tasmania. And I think it's the same with a lot of industries, right? Like everyone, they make a lot of positions redundant in Tassie, and then it all goes to Melbourne, and, you know, these, you know, corporate jobs are non-existent here. So it was why I was so passionate about my job as well, because I knew I had something good. I knew I was paid well. I loved it. It got me out of the state. So then, just slowly went from one company to another. And then again, a boss from Swiss Vitamins reached out to me and said, I need you in this pharma company. And I've been there for 5 years. So
amazing.
That's literally, and it's just from networking, hard work.
Yeah.
Making yourself known as well, like making those connections with the right people in the industry. And I think just being authentic, I think that's my biggest thing.
Yeah. I think that's really important. And big lesson there is to get on that Qantas flight. So at 6 a.m.
Virgin Blue.
The Qantas or Virgin flight at 6 a.m. and that's where you'll meet all those people.
That's exactly why I changed my flights. Like every girls' trip, my friends are like, you're the worst because you always take like a different plane. I never sit next to them on the flight, or I'm a completely different flight. And that's for the same reason. The amount of people that I have met on the flights is insane. Like
100%.
There's nurses that I've worked with, and I was like, oh, hold the phone phone. Like, we're in the same department. Like, we don't even talk to each other. And like the amount of people that you connect with is so special. So how incredible. Like, what a nice ripple effect it is.
Oh,
just purely based from a conversation.
100%. It just shows the power of networking, right? And that's authenticity and networking is like my two things I live and breathe. Communication,
yeah.
I also have a rule when I'm networking, and I do quite a bit of it, is I don't talk to the same person
in
the room for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and I don't go to people that I know straight away. I'll kind of go to people that I don't know.
That's a great rule.
And I find that that's such a good way to network and to meet new people. And even if you're in a coffee shop, like I go to the same coffee shops every day. And I know the regulars now because I just talk to them.
Yeah,
I know what they do, how they work, that type of thing. Even the daycare parents. Literally. Even 100%. The daycare parents, like if you start to get to know them, the amount of business I've gotten from daycare, going there and just talking about what I do and things like that, it is so beneficial to be that person who can just have a little bit of chat, ask how someone's day's going.
And it creates a nice meaning for people. So when they think that they need a broker or they need something, they're like, oh, Ree was really great to me. And then you made them feel something.
Yeah.
So it's more inclined to bring you that business because you've built that rapport and that connection and that trust, right? So
and that's what life's all about. Right?
That is exactly what life is all about. I love it.
When we're talking about networking, it does come with confidence, though.
It does. It really does.
How have you developed your confidence over time? Because you do show yourself and present yourself as a confident person.
I don't really know. It's always been who I've been, right? I've just always been unapologetically myself. I don't really care what anyone thinks. I am just always myself. And I think that's, like I said before, authenticity is like one thing that I really strive to be myself all the time. So if you meet me in the corporate world, even though I might act a little bit differently and a bit more professionally, well, sometimes, you'll always get the same version of me. So here in the street, exactly what you said, in a coffee shop, in Eastland Shopping Centre, if I'm walking down, I see someone that I know, I'll always stop, say hello, unless I'm super, super busy. But it's just who I am. And I think, I really live by this you only live once kind of motto and live your best life, and who really cares what anyone thinks. And we're not here to be robots or minions, and, we're here to be who we are. And if someone doesn't like that, that's fine. We don't need to like everybody.
No, that's right.
We just don't need to tear them down. And if people want to tear you down, then that's their own problem, not mine. So
I agree.
So I think that's what it is. Like, I just think I trust in myself. I believe in myself. I know I'm a good person. Does that make sense? Like, confidence comes from who you think you are. So
and the action with it.
Yeah. So I think that if you believe in yourself and, and then it's repetition, right? You make your brain believe what you want them to believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you act confident, then
you are confident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ash, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yes. Go. Not me.
Tell me.
For somebody who currently doesn't believe in themselves
and
they have to work towards doing this, what would you suggest that they do first?
Wait, go back a sec. My brain is like ticking. What was the question?
So I'm going to actually put it onto mothers because I sometimes think that mums lose confidence in themselves. So, and I've got another question for you in a second. So for a mum who has lost confidence in themselves, maybe lost their identity a little bit, what would be the first step you would tell them to put in place to build that confidence back up?
For me, it would be that there's a few ways to go about it because it really depends on what their support network's like and whether or not they've got a great support network around them, because sometimes having that fear of asking to put your kids often to the side is a little bit daunting for someone.
Yeah.
But journaling, I really feel like journaling and really getting clear on what your vision is and who you are as a person and what you want to show up as is like such an important thing. And the amount of things that you can, like I've done it multiple times where it's been 10 pages long that I've ended up brain dumping. And it's just like, this is who I want to show up as. Like, this is who I want to be. And what are the small steps that I can take each day to then become that person? It's just asking that question of, okay, how can I make today great and how can I be a better person and a better version of myself? Is it that I go to a coffee shop with my kids and say hello to 3 different people and just like start getting back
building that
who I am, right? And it's just, basically fundamentals really, but it all comes down. I feel like people overthink so much and you can't overthink yourself out of a problem.
I agree.
So if you've got that out and if you've got that pen to paper, like it's a miracle as to what comes out. And you get so clear because it's not sitting up in your brain and it's not something that you just overthink and then you're just like, oh, I thought about this for a second, you know, like it's all out. You're very clear. You're very intentional with what you want to do and just, take action from that.
I also find that affirmations are so powerful and it's something that before having a child, I'd be like, woo, whatever. But for me, my son had a little bit of anxiety going to daycare for a little while there. So we started doing affirmations in the morning. We say the same thing every day. We do a chant. I won't say it online.
That's cute.
Do it.
No way.
Right. I love it. This will help someone else read.
Yeah, I am brave.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yes.
I am brave. I am strong. I am kind to all my teachers and my friends. But most importantly, I am Andy. And
that's so great. That's so great.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah. And go, you're smart, you're kind, you're fun, you're strong. Let's go, Andy.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
It actually gives me tingles.
Yeah. But the amount of times like we've done that and I've actually been in tears because I'm like, I actually needed to be told that I'm
100%,
brave and strong today.
100%.
And it's been so important. Sometimes he won't want to do it. I'm like, we're doing it.
We're doing it. I need it today. Come on, Andy.
And now he's gotten older. We actually do it, and he recognises some days if I need it. So he'll go, mummy, go.
Yeah, that's so great.
So I think like having those and actually putting those affirmations on your child can then build you up as well. So if you're someone that does 100%. Push your confidence with your child, because some people and me as well feel more confident around their kids.
Yeah.
If you can even do a little bit of that with them, we should build you up as well.
Yeah. 100%.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
When it comes to you traveling, it's something that a lot of mums would look at and go,
that's too much.
That's too much to be away. That's too much. Yep. That's just diabolical.
Like, what is she doing?
Diabolical. Yeah. How do you, one, balance it and two, communicate with your child and work out a good balance for you both without feeling that mum guilt?
I think that for one, on one hand, I'm really lucky because I have DAS week on, week off. So my son, I have he's 12 now. He was 12 on Friday.
Yeah, teenager.
Happy birthday, DAS.
Happy birthday, DAS. Little spoilt little bratty he is. I love him, my little bestie. So I have him week on, week off. So that really helps with that balance of work life, mum life balance. So the weeks that I travel, I usually try and travel the weeks I don't have DAS. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but I've also got a really good relationship with his dad. So I think we're better off being besties rather than together. So, which is really nice. So we balance that really, really, really well. So there's not really the pressure of me going, I'm not here, I'm not around DAS, which I think, I don't like to say I'm lucky because I hate using that word lucky because I don't think anyone's lucky. I think, you always work towards getting something and it's from hard work. So I hate that word, but I am lucky in the sense that the weeks that I don't have DAS, I can do what I want. Yeah. That's where the separation works really, really well. So the guilt's not really there, to be honest.
I shouldn't be there. Should not be there.
You're talking to two people that don't really get mum guilt that often.
Yeah. Oh, good. Because the people would say the same thing. But, you're always away, And I'm like, yeah, okay. Sometimes I miss a, footy training or a cricket game or during the week.
Every other time.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm always 100%. There when I'm there. And even when I don't have the weeks I don't have DAS and I'm home, I see him like a million times during the week anyway. So the guilt's not there. I love traveling. I love getting on a plane, get me
Suits
anywhere.
Your personality
I'm just flitting in, flitting out, getting on a plane. So I enjoy that aspect. I think we were talking about ADHD earlier before we started filming, but I'm so ADHD. I'm undiagnosed, but I'm 100% ADHD.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I enjoy that. Impulsive, always on a plane, always busy. And when I'm not busy, I'm a bit like you girls.
I find something.
What can you do next?
Yeah, I'm bored out of my brain and I'm like, I need to be doing something. So I love it.
I'll be I need to have a day at home, and then it'll be 10 o'clock. All right, what are we going to do? My day at home is done.
Literally.
Look, don't get me wrong. I feel like sometimes I'm an introvert, extrovert. I think there's a new thing that they reckon there's this in between or something.
Oh, I am absolutely
It's
in
called
between.
something. It's
I'm not
you
sure.
need to Google it.
Yeah.
It's this new in between where you're an absolute extrovert, but then you love just being so introvert. Some weekends I don't have DAS. I'll stay at home all weekend, not do anything. and literally just Netflix. I'll probably do footy work and, you know, get on my computer and work. But I won't see anyone, don't care.
Yeah.
I'm the exact same. I'm extroverted into an extent. And as soon as I'm over that cliff, it's like, I cannot be around another person.
Done.
I have had so many things going on in April.
Like, you had so many guests at your house
so many
too.
things on. We've had family weddings. I've had a hens. I've had literally something on every single day. I'm not joking, every day. And I'm like done. And then it was my birthday on Monday. And I was like, I'm just going to skip my birthday because
It's not happening this year.
And we went out for dinner and I was like at 7:30 to my family, okay, so my birthday has concluded. Everyone can now leave.
Catch you. Bye.
See ya. You can all stay, but I'm going home.
Yeah, that's so good.
I know, I hear you. I'm exactly the same.
I also find like I'll be like, I really want to stay home though. And then I'll be like, not actually staying home. But as long as I'm just like, I don't need to be around people, but just like going to the park for a walk or just active relaxation for me is really important.
I agree. Yeah.
Talk us through your position as president of Clarence Football Club.
Gosh.
You're the only female in this position.
I am.
It's not like it's a small deal at all. You're one of my pop's biggest.
Stop.
He thinks you're amazing.
I love him. I miss seeing his face, actually.
I know.
Or the SFL thing. I have been involved with the footy club for 5 years now. So I headed up the juniors. I'm one of those people, as we've obviously worked out, that says yes, a lot like you guys. Yes. I was president of the PNF, the school PNF, for a couple of years.
Surprise.
Yes, exactly. And then that finished because the school changed things. But anyway, that's another story. So the PNF didn't exist. So I left there and then kind of got roped into joining the board at the footy club. Das was in under 8s, I think. Yeah, he would have been under 8. So I just literally started football. And they're like, we need someone else on the board. So come and join. Of course, I joined the board next minute that year. I'm president.
Amazing.
So this was of the juniors. So at this stage, I headed up the juniors. The Clarence juniors and seniors were a completely different football entity, so they were completely separate. So over the next couple of years, I worked with Scott Wade, who was the president of the seniors, and we amalgamated the two clubs because it made sense. And it's stupid.
It's a clear pathway. Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
So we were one of the only few that still hadn't amalgamated. So there's still a few clubs around the state that haven't amalgamated. So we did that, went through that big process. Then all of a sudden I become part of the executive of the Clarence Football Club, and I headed up the juniors, Scott headed up the seniors, and then at the end of 2024, Scott Wade basically said, here's the baton. And I said, no, thank you. Don't want it. The juniors are hardcore. And it's all about parents and kids and, it's a lot of work. And I thought, no way do I want to step into such a big role, because once you step into president of the seniors, you're president of the whole club. So I head up the whole entire club. And so I said no to start with. Said I've got too much going on. My career, I just started my new job at pretty much at where I am now. And I said, no, I'm too busy. I don't want to take that on. And then I thought about it and I thought, shit, I'll be the only female president in Tasmania.
That's insane.
Like, this is a huge opportunity. Clarence Football Club is the biggest football club in Tassie. And so I went back to him and said, actually, I think I do want that job. Even though it's unpaid, like I'll take that voluntary role. So I said yes. So at the end of 2024, I become president of the Clarence Football Club, so the entire football club, and I'm still here now. So I'm in my second year as president. I enjoy it a lot more than the juniors because you're dealing with really high-end challenges now. So I'm dealing with different people. I'm not dealing with parents of, kids that they're not in the same team as their best friend or things like that, or they don't like the coach, or, you're dealing with adults now. So I'm really high-end, challenges and high-end decisions and, really trying to drive the culture of the football club and, build us as the best community footy club around, which obviously comes with its challenges. But yeah, I love it. I did quit 3 times last week, but
did you?
Well, I tried to.
Girlfriend.
We've got a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And yeah, it gets hard, and it got to the point last week where we'll probably talk about this later, but I was made redundant a couple of weeks ago, and so I'm going through changes with my job. I'm still with the same company, and it's been great, and it was pretty much a promotion, but I'm going through those changes, and then the challenges with the footy club, and I sort of got to the point where I'm like, is this fight worth my while? Like, what am I fighting for? It's taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah.
Is it worth my time? I suppose a little bit of mum guilt came in there because I'm like, I spend a lot of time thinking about this football club that I don't get paid a cent to run.
Yeah.
What is the long-term goal here? But I'm still there now. It was my ADHD, you know, that impulsivity and hormones, chuck some hormones in there. And I was like, no, I'm done. 100%. I'm done. And then I'm like, no, I had a board meeting last night. I said, no, I'm okay, but we just need to really try and get some things sorted. So yeah.
I feel like with all clubs at the beginning, like that middle part of the season, like just before, the games have started to come on.
Yeah.
You're not quite through the whole, like even halfway. I feel like that's when things start to explode a little bit because you've got all the different personalities, the different clubs, all the things going on.
And then challenges with other sports.
Well,
and stadiums.
That's pretty much what it is, to be completely honest. It's challenges that a lot of other clubs don't have.
Yeah.
So it's facilities for us.
Yeah, 100%.
So and it's such an ongoing battle.
Yeah.
And I won't get stuck into it, but it's, you know, we are so lucky that we get to play out of an incredible stadium. Like it's an international cricket venue. Like it's amazing. But with that comes so many challenges. And it's only going to get worse, you know, over the next few years. And the problem is that, and this is a problem for a lot of sports around Tassie, is there's no grounds.
Netball is terrible at the moment. There's nowhere. We're playing netball at 9 p.m. Like,
and how ridiculous under lights that you probably can't see, and that then becomes a safety issue. And so it's the same across all codes. So you know, the more I talk to other people like netball and basketball, and so much, you know, Swish's closed down, and then that's an issue. And you know, just even, but footy fields is, you know, if we could have somewhere else to train, or we would, but. There is nothing.
There's nothing.
There's no grounds. Like, and it's a roll-on effect into
particularly for a club that's so big as well. It's not like it's just two football teams that you've got to manage and liaise. Like, there's a lot behind it. A lot behind it, and it's
And the government want kids playing sport, but then like
this is the problem, right? This is the huge problem, and it's like I've been having these conversations for 5 years.
It's even like Paul Ready Set Go. Like they
struggle as well.
They cannot get any spaces. Like they are doing such incredible things. Low cost to get kids into sport.
Yeah.
But then they've got nowhere to do it.
That's right.
I know.
That's right.
And they want to keep their costs 100%. Low because they want to be able to get people into sport.
Exactly.
But you know, when they don't have the venues to do it. What else can they do but charge?
It
is.
It's tricky, but we just keep soldiering on and bring it back to pick your battles. This is what I have to do. Like, pick your battles. Don't fight too hard when you know you can't get an outcome straight away, and just keep chipping away.
Have you received much backlash from being a female in a male-led industry?
I did at the start, quite interestingly, when I first become president, or when there was talk of me becoming president. We actually got together, Scott Way and a couple of us, and we're like, oh, we don't know how this is going to go down at the AGM. Like, you could have older men that have been around the footy club stand up and say, well, no, we don't want a female president. And I said, you know what? I'll just stand there and say, that's fine. Well, you do the job then.
Yeah.
If you want the job here, you can have it. Like, I'm not actually taking it because I'm getting paid $400,000 a year. Like, I'm doing it out of the goodwill of my heart. So that was my, and in the end, no one said anything at the AGM, but there was a lot of chatter. There was nothing said to my face, but there was a lot of chatter behind the scenes. And then we won the premiership last year, the men's premiership, and we hadn't won a premiership in 15 years.
Wow.
And that was such a great game too.
Sorry, any Lauderdale fans listening on the podcast, but I sat there in that game and you couldn't wipe the smile off my face. And we're all like, right, everyone stay where they're sitting. Like, nobody move. Let's not mix up the universe at the moment. Like, we're winning. Like, it was just incredible. It was an incredible day. But that night, that day, the amount of older men that came up to me and said, I'm so sorry, Nat, I misjudged you. And I was one of the people that said at the start, why are they putting you in charge? And I took it, and I smiled and I said, thank you. And I said, look, I always knew I was going to be a great president. You know, this premiership is not mine, it's ours.
Yeah.
As a president, I wasn't out there kicking the ball. I'm leading the club. This is everyone's premiership, not just mine, but thank you. But then I thought about it later and I was like, it's just in that itself was a little bit disrespectful because I was like, what, just because I won a premiership as a president, now all of a sudden I'm okay? But it's the footy world. It's the men, and I'm really lucky at Clarence because another thing that people warned me was about the boys' club at Clarence Footy Club. Be careful the boys' club. The boys that are all my age, but to be honest, they have been the biggest supporters of mine.
That's so great.
And, I've had Scott Wade and Grant Fagan, our head coach, by my side the entire time, fighting with me, as well as the boys' club. They're all my besties, and they're all they all are so, so great and so, so supportive of me, and they've always got my back. So I had no trouble at Clarence at all. So
that's great. Yeah. I think that complements your personality very well, though. Purely because I know the kind of person that you have always been. You've always been the same.
Yeah,
Nat in my eyes. From when I first met you, fucking 10 years ago, I think it was. It was insane. Dust was only a little. Yes, at F45. Yeah. And you're we're literally the person that just gravitated to everybody, and you were just that beam of light. And I feel that definitely reflects as you as a person. And also, I think it reflects on your leadership style as well. And I'm assuming, and I mean, you're happy to elaborate even further, that your leadership style would be quite similar in the corporate world to what it is running a community, the largest community club in Tassie.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's absolutely the same.
Yeah.
I am always myself. I always admit that I'm always learning.
Yeah.
I think there's no harm in always admitting that you're not going to get it right every time. And even though I'm very strong-willed in some things I believe in, and it's more so when someone comes in and goes, there's a better way to do it and we should do it this way, and I go, and I know in my head that we've done it this way, this way, this way, and this way, and I go, it's not going to work that way. It's that experience. But if I've never done anything before, or I'm trying to navigate something, I'll be the first to say, look, my answer's not always right. If someone can bring something better to the table, then go for gold. And I try to be encouraging, and I think I'm fun, and I like to think that I can motivate people and inspire people to be better. And my leadership style at the club is always, it's probably a little bit different to corporate. I made it really clear, especially at the start of this year, that we're all volunteers. Let's remember that first and foremost. And that the club is not as important as your health, your mental health, or your stress levels. So if there's a point where this job or this position becomes super stressful, it's time to walk away.
Yeah,
it's going to be challenging. We love a challenge because then we win and then we feel great about ourselves and we learn and we grow. But if it's stressful and it's anxiety driven, then step away. And I'm the same at that point. If it becomes like that, then I'm like, it's not worth my health. Health is way more important than any presidency or volunteer role.
That's so great.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've actually got another question for you.
Okay.
And I just think that this is probably just going to add to your personality and who you are as a person anyway. Stripping back any title. So club presidency, pharmaceutical, corporate ladder, fucking queen, mum, everything along those lines. Stripping all of those titles away and any salaries that can be attached to it. Who would you still show up as?
Well, I'd show up as me. Still, definitely.
Yeah.
I think the thing I love the most about life is making connections.
Yeah.
It's feeling like I actually do connect with people and add value.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so important for me to be the president of the football club, because I want to add value.
Yeah.
I don't just want to be the president. I love being the president. And I love telling Darcy, my son, always goes, you love telling people you're the president of the Clarence Football Club. I'm like,
he would froth it too, though. He would bloody be putting it out there to the world.
He
that
would be going around school saying,
I know that kid, mate.
I know, exactly.
He's a pocket full of
and I love
sunshine,
networking and all that. But at the end of the day, I just like to make people feel good.
Yeah.
I think I'll always be that person.
Yeah.
And I don't see the point in being negative or unkind or, bullying or anything like that. I'm sure I went through my high school. Actually, I saw a girl at the football at the Devil's game of the weekend. We were reminiscing about grade 5 when apparently I was a little bit of a diva. And I was I was not. I didn't know. Apparently I said something like, you can't sit with us. And I was like, I did not. But anyway, that aside, maybe this is what shaped me into being who I am today.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that I'll always show up as me,
I love that. Yeah.
Like,
but do you still do the same things that you're doing now?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And honestly, if money wasn't an issue, obviously we all love money and we all like, 100%. That drives me in the corporate world. And I'll always say that's a thing. Like, I'm never going to be one to say money is not important because it is. I have a lifestyle to uphold. Yeah. I like what I do. Yeah. I like the life
You've
that
got a single income as well.
100%.
That's right.
So money is super important to me, and working my way up the corporate ladder is as well. But also, where am I going with this train of thought?
Roll with it.
I can't wait to get the photos of this ADHD.
Oh my God, imagine.
I don't remember what I was saying. It's gone. Oh my God. So money. Oh, I would still be the same person. Yeah. And I'd probably do more of this volunteer stuff.
Yeah, great.
I would be more involved. And that's what I said the other day. If I could give more time to the Clarence Footy Club, I would. But it's already like a full-time job anyway. So
it would be.
Yeah.
I'm the exact same. There's so many things that, like, even my mental health event, like, I run out of loss every year doing it. I burn out every year doing it. But
but you love it.
Yeah. And if I had
more time to put into it.
If I didn't have a mortgage, if I didn't have things to worry about, that would be my thing. I'd do it all over Australia. But
100%.
That's why I think money brings happiness, though. I don't care what anyone says. Money brings happiness.
100%. Find me a sugar daddy.
Talking of the
literally. Hello.
Talking
any sugar daddies out there?
Hitting that Louise up.
Talking about the mental health event, I just booked in our keynote speaker, and this person is a fan favourite in my book club. And I was like, no one can ever complain in this book club that money doesn't buy happiness because it's just bought our keynote speaker.
100%.
Well, exactly. No complaints.
What does money bring to you, though? Like, if you've got money and an abundant amount of it, like the things that you can change.
I think there's definitely a threshold. I think
there definitely is. And I think there comes a point where it's like, working too hard or, and missing that balance and stuff. But if you're all well balanced and
my gosh,
you're just working your way up the corporate ladder and all got a sugar daddy on the side, like, do you, boo?
We do. I do get a lot of messages on Instagram and TikTok about having a sugar daddy. So
do you? Okay, let's talk about
it.
No, I've got a
Bring
few of
them
those messages, but I think they're all, nah.
I think they're all
I want to like a semi-good-looking, semi-good-looking, like, sugar daddy.
All you need to do is text me for a week and I'll pay you $5,000. I'm like, no worries. What's the number?
Hit me up. Do you want some feet pics?
Literally.
Tempted.
Something I really admire about you as well is that you do still prioritise time with your friends, and you've inspired me to do this because I try to be a good friend, but also I have limited time.
Yeah,
and
it's hard.
The way I see that you are constantly showing up for your friends has inspired me to do the same. What are your suggestions to getting to this point? Because I also have friends that you'll see that kind of fall back into, oh no, I'm too busy for my friends. I'm too busy to do this.
I think I'm really lucky because I think as you get older, you really find out who your friends are and who your true friends are. And that sounds really corny, doesn't it? True friends. But, the ones that will show up and you can see, like most of my besties, I don't see every week and nothing changes. Like nothing changes. And they know me.
Yeah.
They know how crazy my life is, but they never, ever throw that in my face either.
Yeah.
And I think as long as I'm making an effort, and I enjoy being social as well.
Yeah.
So you don't have to ask me twice to go and have a brunch or a winery tour or a wine in the sun. And
I was wondering if we should have had one for the podcast episode.
This could have been fun. Maybe next time when we go into...
There's a part 2 coming for this, I can tell you. Got an idea. I've got an idea.
Excellent. Yes, definitely. But I enjoy hanging out with my friends. And I think I got to the stage where I was like, who adds value to my life and who doesn't add value to my life. And I just try and make sure I hang around people and I'm around people that bring me joy. Like, none of this negative. We're getting too old. Life's too short. I don't want to sit around someone that's going to just complain all the time. And of course, let's vent, let's talk about things and let's gossip and be rat bags. But yeah, I just think that I pick and choose and I just make sure that I fill my cup with my friends as well because it's so important. I love my friends. I love my family. And I, like you guys, I know so many people. Like, so some people are like, oh, Nat's always busy. Like, honestly, some people will tell you that I'm never around or I never see these groups of friends or things like that. And I wish I could see people more, but, you know,
there's only so much.
There's only so many hours.
It's the same as me, though.
Yeah.
I get texts all the time. Oh, when you meet someone new and there's so many new mutual friends and it's just like, oh.
I know. Literally.
You actually know shit tons of people.
So many people.
Yeah, it's great.
And I love that too.
Yeah, same.
And that's why I love being like out at, you know, even like big, you know,
events
and things like that because you get to see so many different people. And I'm a bit like you, like I flit around like there's no tomorrow. Like I'm literally like I can't even go to an event with someone because I'm like jumping from person to person to person to person.
Yeah.
And or when I'm out,
it's like me going to town.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like you're such a fuckhead. Like I can't go out with you. Like we can't go out just as a group of two.
No, you can't because you just go.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm
like
the same.
She needs to be with someone else. I'm like, I'm really sorry.
Literally. Or you're like,
sorry.
Or you're like literally dragging her, like and introducing it, like this is, and then you're like, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm the same.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
But yeah, it's just about balance. And I like, again, I'm really consistent with my weeks. So the weeks I have DAS, I try and make them all about DAS and we hang out or he has friends over or we're playing sport or I'm kitted up in the bloody nets with his cricket gear on.
Oh my God, those videos are so great. I love them.
He's going to be bigger than me soon. But the weeks I don't have DAS, I'm always like, right, what am I doing this weekend? Like I said, I still enjoy my quiet weekends, but mostly I try and be semi-social. The last couple of months have been pretty hectic for me, but just with work and stuff like that. So I haven't seen a lot of people, but I try.
When we're talking about your hectic time and the redundancy that came in, you've obviously worked really hard in the role that you were in.
Yeah.
How did you react to that and build yourself up again?
I was a real whirlwind and an emotional roller coaster, to be honest. And when I talked it out with a few friends like that I work with at this company, they were like, my God, Nat, this is incredible though. Like, why are you so down about it? I'm like, I don't know, because for one, I didn't see the redundancy coming.
Yeah.
I was at a major work conference the week before and you know me, like I'm at the biggest pharmaceutical conference in Australia and I'm flitting around in front of every single person, you know, making sure I'm seen and known. And there was a lot of compliments as there always is, and Nat, you're so great and la la la, and a lot of conversations. And then I get back literally 2 days later and I get a phone call, sorry, you've been made redundant. I was like, what? Sorry, excuse me. And I just wasn't expecting it. And so it made me just sit back and go, whoa, 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 like this is something I've done for nearly 20 years. And then all of a sudden it was like, but we're offering you this. And then I was like, hang on, like I just couldn't comprehend it. Like I was like, this is, if it had been the week before and they had to ring me and said, here you go, we've got a promotion for you, I would have been over the moon. I would have been shouting it from the sky and saying, oh my God, I've just got a promotion and it's all incredible. But it was just going through that redundancy, and I'd been through a redundancy before. So I knew what it felt like. Although the first redundancy, I didn't get offered another job. So that was chaotic. But so I think it was just, getting my head around it and then going, okay, the reason I've come out on top here is because I've worked for what I've just got here. And again, it became, everyone's like, you're so lucky, it's this. And I was like, no, I'm not lucky. And one of my friends in Melbourne, I love her to bits, and she's always like my person that pulls me back down to ground and grounds me and says, no, Nat, like remember who you are.
Yeah, great.
And you've got this because you've earned this. Like you could have been made redundant, and yes, one part of the business made you redundant, but then it was my part of the business that went, hang on, we're not losing her. And they found me a job.
That's so great.
And I wouldn't have got that opportunity if I hadn't proved who I was and done everything I've done over the last 5 years at this company. So just work hard and eventually things will come to you. Prove who you are.
But huge though. Huge. Even like the word redundancy is like.
I know.
And especially when you've attached a meaning to it previously and
100%.
like you've had to
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. You've seen it for what it was beforehand.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
No, which is exactly what it was. But so it's been pretty crazy. And then my boss rings me on Monday and he's like, oh, I think I need to do another job. So So I'm just going through this whirlwind so I'm filling in, I'm probably going to move into another role in the next couple of days.
Oh my God.
Bit of a ping pong.
Well, yeah. And again, it's nearly like another promotion because the accounts that I've been asked to take over or sort of told that I'll need to take over are bigger and, more known and more seen and more exposed.
Bloody reflection to you though.
Yeah, but it's literally really crazy.
Yeah.
So that's been tricky navigating, like starting a new job, which I was really enjoying, and now I'm like, oh shit, now I have to pivot again.
Yeah.
But being able to do that and pivot, I think is also a reflection of who I am as a person and my ADHD.
It's actually, but also I don't think it also comes down to ADHD because quite often with ADHD we can get really stuck in our ways and don't want to change. So I think it does show how strong your personality is and how much you can back yourself to know that you can have the change and you can pivot quickly because for me, really I really struggle with quick changes. That's not good for me at all. I can't do a quick change. So it's really cool to see that that's something that you can do confidently.
100%.
I think
flexibility in behaviour.
Well, I just think that that's kind of who I am.
Yeah.
And I think it's always who I have been, and that's why I've been seen in the light I am, because even over the last couple of years at work, I literally pivot when I'm asked to fill in and do something. Like last year it was like, oh, hey, we don't have a beauty trainer. So Nat, can you jump in and do some beauty training? So I was like, yeah, why not? And then and funny story, then I was talking to our other beauty trainer who was actually a qualified beauty trainer, Clint, and we were going through and we were talking about a training I had to do a couple of months ago. And he's like, right, we're going to do a live like makeup demonstration at these beauty trainings. So I was like, oh shit, okay. And then I was like thinking about it, and later I said to him, you do realise I'm not a qualified, makeup artist, don't you? He goes, what? Aren't you? I said, no, mate. He goes,
God,
really?
That is so good.
And he's like, oh, I was like, mate, I'm just like faking it till you make it. Like,
I'm just saying yes and just making it up along the way.
You think that I'm a qualified makeup artist, but I'm 100% not. Like, I've just learned what I've learned. And,
all those years on watching YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just like, it's so funny, isn't it? Like, I just had that persona that's who I was and that's what I could do. And everyone thought that's what it was.
That's great.
Amazing.
Conviction, mate. 100% certainty.
I was like, everywhere. Okay, we'll add that to the resume, makeup artist.
That is so good. That is so good.
Nat, we could talk to you all day, but we won't keep you. I know you've got a meeting coming up. But my last question for you is, if there's any female out there wanting to do more and be more, what would your advice be to them?
I think we go back to what I first said at the start, is you've got to trust in yourself.
Yeah.
And I think being single, really, I found this more so. I enjoy being single and I enjoy not having to prove myself to anyone. So I prove myself to myself, really. So it's just going back and finding that within you and what makes you happy and just believing in yourself. I think, making time for yourself and self-care is super, super important, whether you're in a relationship or not. But it's really trying to find that self-belief. And once you can rely on yourself and you believe in yourself and you don't need to rely on anyone else or, have anyone tell you you're super amazing every single day, and you can tell yourself you're super amazing. And the confidence just comes. It really does. You've just got to keep believing in yourself. And I think, exercise is a big part of that, your mental health. And if you need to get your mental health right to start with, and then the rest just sort of follows.
I love it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Girlfriend.
Yeah. Yay. Thank you for joining us on the episode. We've loved having you on. We'll have to get you on again.
I know, same.
It's like a little, what's it called? A therapy session. Yes.
It's so great.
Okay,
I love
cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
it.
Thank you.
For coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yay!
Good job.
Yay! That was so good.